I'm here today at OFA with Dave Williams from Williams Nursery in Westfield, New Jersey. What was the biggest pain point that you had that motivated you to look at adding a point of sale system to the store?
Probably when I first met Jay. We actually were coming off of an off season, and it was actually one of the things I wanted to do is I figured if I can get my customers to come in one more time in the course of the season, it would drive sales up.
How long did it take to train your point of sale clerks on touchscreen?
It was actually a very quick and painless process for most of our cashier staff. Actually, it seemed the younger the staff, the faster the training. The teen to 28-year-olds was probably 10 minutes of training time. The others who may have been scared and intimidated by computers in general took a little longer.
Did having the touchscreen help those people?
Oh, big time, yes.
And why was that?
They didn't have to think menus or anything else. It was all there in front of them, and it was actually faster than our regular cash registers were.
How has using CP Gateway made a difference in the store?
Our checkout time is a lot faster, and actually when we started with CP Gateway, we dropped one cashier that we needed because the lines were a lot shorter because processing time was faster.
And CP Gateway, just for the people who don't know what it is, could you explain what CP Gateway actually is?
CP Gateway is processing your credit card transactions through the internet.
And approximately how long does each transaction take?
Probably 2 seconds.
Since you've installed Counterpoint, have you seen an increase in your bottom line?
Well, part of the issue was before we had Counterpoint, we didn't even know what our bottom line was. So now we can actually judge from one year to the next.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
We're here today with Jim and Mary Wallach from Wallach Nursery and Garden Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, how has using Counterpoint made a difference in your store?
In a lot of ways, really, from streamlining our customer service, our checkout lines, to streamlining purchasing and tracking our inventory and all the things that we weren't able to do on just a manual system.
And how long had you all been running manually?
60 years.
A long time. Since you've installed Counterpoint, have you seen an increase in your bottom line?
Yes, we have, and we attribute that to being able to track our expenses better, to tracking our inventory better, to know when to buy and when not to buy. That whole inventory information has been invaluable in helping us to control our costs, basically.
Now that you can see the products that are moving quickly and then the products that aren't moving quickly, have you changed your buying habits?
Oh, definitely, definitely. We know if something is, how fast it sells and how fast we have to reorder it or how long it takes for us to reorder it. We have used our minimum and maximum feature so that we know how many we have to have on the floor in order to get optimal sales.
It also has helped because we can look at our margins and see if we're getting poor margins, then those are the items that we tend to get rid of. So we're eliminating our SKUs because of knowing what our margins are when we do sell it.
What were the biggest surprises or the biggest benefits between how you ran manually and how computerizing has changed your operation?
I guess at this point I can't imagine operating without a POS system, where before we didn't know what we didn't have, you know how that goes. But I guess I get quite upset and nervous if something happens to my system because I can't remember how to go back to where we did it the old way. That's a big problem for us. But I guess on the good side of it, things are just more efficient. They're much more efficient than they used to be, and we have so much more information and not realizing before what we didn't have. It's just made, it's made us retailers as opposed to a mom and pop standalone shop. So.
I'm here today with John Corso from Corso's Flower and Garden in Sandusky, Ohio. How many point-of-sale systems did you look at before purchasing Counterpoint?
I think we looked at 3 different ones. Simpos, Slice, and RTI, and came back to Counterpoint after that.
And why did you choose Counterpoint?
For us, Counterpoint was the best broad-based platform for everything we do, landscaping, wholesale growing, and retail.
What was the biggest benefit for implementing Counterpoint for Corso's?
The biggest benefit was ease of use, ease of getting the information out of the system, seeing where we really were making a profit and where we weren't, what we're selling per month, per day, per year. Especially when we're doing new orders, considering reordering, we can look back at last year's numbers and make a decision whether it's something we sold last year at a good profit or we shouldn't be reordering because we didn't sell it at a profit.
So basically you're happy with how everything got implemented when you all put Counterpoint in?
Yeah, it went fairly smooth considering how big of a jump it was from a cash register to a POS system. And there's some of our staff, like Michelle, who you know, my sister, and they're key in getting that, smooth transition. So, and staff training and all that was actually not as bad as we might have thought going into it.
Thanks, John.